All right, so next up, and we're doing good on time still, great. Okay, so yes, the next up we do have the Contra Costa Green Business Program. I'm excited to introduce Susan Psara. She's a hazardous waste reduction manager with the Hazardous Materials Program, and we go way back, but she's been amazing for a long time. Let's welcome Susan, please. There you go, good to have you here there, appreciate it.
Hi, everybody. I wasn't here last year. This is a great group. I feel like you're all so engaged. And can you hear me? I feel like you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, great. My name is Susan Psara. I want to thank George for connecting me to this group because I manage a green business program, which may not be immediately thought of as economic development, but I'd love to connect with all of you. So really just want to raise awareness for our program, make connections, and especially those in the eastern part of our county. I feel like we need a little bit more help there. So I'll talk about that in the moment. This is our program mission. It is to really recognize and promote businesses that have implemented very high sustainability standards into the operation of their business. And our program started in 1998. I work for the county in the health department in hazmat programs division. So raise your hand if you even knew that there was a green business program in the county. Quite a few. That's great. So I'm glad to be here for those that may not have known that we have a green business program. And we are a member of the California Green Business Network, which is a statewide network. And we, for the most part, collaborate and have standardized marketing and standardized checklists, and we have a marketing performance standards. Now we have an equity committee also, and sustainable funding. And so this is a snapshot of our current businesses. As you can see in East County, we need some help there promoting it to businesses. Right now, we have almost 200 active certified businesses, so businesses do need to get recertified every 4 years, which is why some of them tend to drop off if they're not fully engaged or lose some bandwidth within their, or if they just don't want to be continue with the certification process. But since 1998, we have certified over 668 businesses. So it kind of, I mean, we've assisted a lot more. So this is just kind of like one facet of the impact that we have with our program. In our certification process, it's no cost. We say that there may be additional costs if they do need to make changes as part of our program, but there's no upfront costs. So our services are free, and it takes, I would say, on average, about 3 months for a very engaged business to get certified. And there's an online platform. They register online. There's basically an assessment. We have over 25 different types of checklists. So a lot of the businesses in our county are office retail based, but we do have the second highest is auto repair, and that's because I work in our hazmat programs division, and there was a huge push at the beginning of our program to the auto repair industry. But we also have several construction remodel businesses, small manufacturers, what else is there? Janitorial services is also very popular, and restaurants. And the baseline, I'll talk about our certification standards next. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. But they complete the checklist. And since COVID, we really have been able to improve our flexibility in serving our businesses. So we have the capacity to meet with them virtually at first and kind of go over their assessment and identify where they are. So whether they have they're totally sustainable, great, we want to work with you. But if they need help, we're here for you also. So we really truly thrive in providing that direct assistance for the business wherever they may need it. So we meet with them, we kind of tell them what they need to get done, and then they get certified. We also recognize them every year if you're familiar with Sustainable Contra Costa, at the Sustainable Contra Costa Sustainability and Leadership Awards Gala. Central SAN is also there, and they have pollution prevention awards, and SCOCO also has awards that they give out. So that's kind of the overview of the process. We have a mix of businesses that are very energized by it and get through it, but some of them need a little bit of hand-holding. So we try to provide as much help as we can to get them certified. And for our certification standards, they are a mixture depending on what sector they are. So it's sector specific. There is a mixture of water conservation, energy efficiency measures. We require environmental compliance for all of our businesses, but there's also measures in pollution prevention, environmentally preferable purchasing, general measures that are based on community. And so it's all encompassing, and it is specific, like I said, specific to the sector. And what else was I going to mention here? Those are some of the language. There are required measures, and then there are ones that are kind of you need to do 1 out of 3. So that's kind of getting into the nitty-gritty of the checklist. But once they are certified, we give them a decal. There is, if you go to greenbusinessca.org is our statewide website, and then /Contra Costa County is our specific county website. And so there's an online directory that they'll be posted at. We ask for a testimonial from them, post their photos, and so we really try to highlight them and recognize them as much as we can. And then many of our measures up there, it says that there are many that are facility based, so changing a toilet would be one, or there are a lot of behavioral based too. So it would be forming a green team, or implementing an environmentally preferable purchasing policy. And a lot of these things, I feel extend past the business. So, for example, our office is in the process of getting recertified, and we recently implemented composting, which, if you're familiar with, is there's so many parts to it. There's employees, janitorial. We are also a tenant, so we had to get the building owner involved. So those types of things expand past just the business. People are oh, well, I want to compost in my home. So I feel it's greater than the sum of the parts, which is really great. And then there are just generally the benefits of creating a cleaner and healthier atmosphere for the employees, for the business owners, and for the community members. And we do have my whole point for this was that we have metrics for it. So if they are really good at putting in everything that they've done in there, then they would be able to calculate their greenhouse gas emissions that they've saved, their water that they've saved, how much electricity they've saved. So it's a really cool platform that we have that I did not put a snapshot of, but please feel free to go on our website to take a look at it. And all of this would not be possible without our partnerships. We work really closely with a lot of cities and historically a lot of the utilities and agencies in our county that help provide resource conservation audits for our businesses that we would recommend, or any required environmental compliance audits. And then we really try to connect the businesses with any resources that our partners may have, and highlight those businesses or get business referrals from our agencies. So mostly cities, utilities, but now I have a room full of economic development people, which is great, which has not really been something that we have focused on in the past, but I would love to partner with you, get your input, collaborate. Like I said, the certification is our end goal, but we do a lot of work with collaboration and partnership just in general. And one of the things we are working on right now is with MCE and one of our kind of like California Green Business Network's nonprofit agency, Environmental Innovations. We have a grant that's going for implementing. I put the wrong grant name. It's not Simplified Savings, but it's the SBEA, the Small Business Energy Advantage. So providing energy efficiency audits and assessments to businesses that are in disadvantaged communities from the California climate populations map, or if they meet the definition of hard to reach. So doing those assessments and then hopefully having a vendor come out and be able to implement energy efficiency changes to their business at no additional cost. And Ira in the back we're a mighty team of two, I will say. Ira's back there. We have some flyers if you're interested in learning more about that. But like, that's not really a certification, but we do that type of work also. So really anything having to do with green business, helping businesses really amplify their sustainability and operations. So please chat with me. We're back there if you want to collaborate. And that's our website and my contact information. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Thank you again, Susan. Are there any questions? Yes. One second.
Susan, you mentioned the MCE East County opportunity to collaborate. Can you talk more about next steps?
The next steps are, well, it has to be this specific one. I mean, I just want to say I would like to collaborate with everybody. But for that specific one, the MCE, IRA is currently going out there. Even though technically our contract is not totally finalized, but I'm not going to talk about that. But it does have to be within an MCE service area. Correct, Ira? Yeah, and then it's based off of, if it meets the qualifications of a disadvantaged community, so it's either low income, I think it's based off of the climate, is it the priority populations? Okay, Ira can talk about this. So those are the requirements, and hard to reach, or they have to meet the definition of hard to reach. So IRA has been working with MCE, and I think a part of the Chamber of Commerce in Concord for like target areas. So the other portion of it is she is doing the assessment, but then they have to verify their qualification and then make sure that there's enough work for a vendor to come out. So we're trying to have like concentrated outreach so that it makes economic sense for a vendor to come out to make the changes. But we would really love to do some work in East County to engage those businesses. So I don't know if Ira, you want to chip in on the next step. It is in progress right now, so.
Yeah, I would say definitely reach out to us if you feel like some areas in your city or county would be able to qualify for this program. We can check eligibility, and then definitely if they're not in a low income area, they do have other questions that might be able to qualify them. Like some of the questions we ask is your main language something else other than English? Are you renting? Do you have less than 30 employees? Those are the type of questions that might be able to get them qualified for the program. But definitely, because we have an electrician, after getting all the information, we have an electrician go to the business and do the upgrades. We do want multiple businesses if we can get in, because that's what the electricians will like, since as you may know, a call of service, if you walk in, they're already losing like $200 just by walking in to a business. So we want to make sure that we're getting as much businesses as we can in one area.
Does that answer it? Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, I connected with Salvador, so we'll follow up with that. Any other questions?
Yeah, thank you so much. I was just thinking about what Nancy mentioned earlier around procurement and thinking about Green Business Network. Have you been able to convince any cities to add Green Business certification as a metric or like an additional points for their RFPs and RFQs?
You know, I feel like someone else, Gabby, you asked me that too. So that's a great point. I don't think we've necessarily advocated for that as part of, and I explained that with our green business certification. There, like each business is required to implement an environmentally preferable purchasing policy and is required to do business with other green businesses. I know for the county, that we recently have had an environmentally preferable purchasing policy, and that was included in there for noting to encourage doing business with green businesses. But that's not something that I've worked on advocating, but it's a great point, especially I've heard it twice today. So thank you for that feedback.
And one last thing, I know, Susan, you mentioned in the past trying to really connect more with the East County area, try to expand more. So
Yep.
we do have some East County cities here. So anything you want to share about that?
I think that, I mean, we've been kind of working on it. As you can see, like I feel like we had quite a few more businesses in East County before, but it's not just like with marketing and outreach, but I feel like also we could definitely bolster up the work that we do with utilities or agencies or any agencies that provide services, especially very specific to like business or sustainability. I feel like the work that I have done, there's a lot of like healthcare CBOs in East County, but really trying to support our green businesses, not just with like marketing efforts and but also with the like having more general partnerships in our program is something that we're actively trying to work on right now to improve equity.
All right. Well, thank you again, Susan. Appreciate your presentation. Thank you there. Appreciate you. Yeah. Good job.